Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. So today we're going to be breaking down the Bitcoin price chart, a little bit on ETH, and then we're going to talk about XRP to finish. I'm going to jump straight into it. So on the daily time frame, Bitcoin has reclaimed the area that I was talking about reclaiming. I said this is a key area to reclaim. However, I am a little bit worried about price action. I've spoken about this in depth in the weekly newsletter, which gets released tomorrow. So if you want to go and check that out, please do. This is the top of Bitcoin's range. It starts at around 71,300 and finishes around 73,800. We've still got about, let's have a look, about a 5% move before we start to hit these areas. But at the same time, we are starting to get towards the overbought areas on the RSI. And open interest is looking pretty high. So why is this worrying, or why am I a little bit concerned about this? Well, because I do think we probably need to see a bit of a flush in open interest, and obviously when the RSI gets overbought, then we that is an indicator that we've pushed too high, and we probably need a cool off. However, and a big however, during a bull market, when we hit these overbought areas on the RSI, look where my cursor is now, the vertical line, we do then start to see parabolic moves when things move into the overbought area, as it's a momentum indicator. The oscillator of RSI is a momentum indicator. So it's basically saying we've got maximum momentum, but at some point it will slow down. But these overbought areas are where we really start to see price action increase. For example, here, look, 46% move in 18 days after we hit the overbought area on the RSI right here. Boom, 40% move. Now I am looking for a move like that in Bitcoin. That's what I think we are on the verge of. Exactly when that happens, I am unsure. There's a lot of variables, as I've talked about, and I've just posted over there on X. Maybe all falling back on the USD versus JPY, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. So if we look at Bitcoin, this is on the hourly time frame now, you can see the open interest right here down below is pretty high in terms of where it's been recently, and the RSI on the hourly is overbought. However, if we can get this squeeze into this area here, the all-time highs really for Bitcoin, between 73 and 75k, I presume a lot of this open interest is going to get wiped as there's heavy liquidity in this area, so they will be short positions, so that actually might bring a deleveraging. However, with this open interest being high and the RSI being in the overbought area and as not being that close to all-time highs, I am cautious of a more short-term pullback. I'm more cautious of a short-term pullback, essentially. So that's basically what I'm watching. I'm watching out for. ETH looks pretty similar as well. Obviously, the ETH ETF got approved, and Grayscale started dumping ETH like no tomorrow, dumping 5% in the first day of opening, which was like $500 million worth of ETH. I talked about in a video the other day, ETH coming back and potentially touching into this diagonal rectangle here, and if we do want to sweep liquidity, we will move into this liquidity sweep box here, which would coincide with potential pullback on Bitcoin. However, and the big however is everything could change if we are leaning on the USD JPY. And actually I will just look at that chart because I want to just show you what I'm thinking. And again, I've gone in depth about all of this in the weekly newsletter that comes out tomorrow. Like, if we're falling as the USD loses strength against the JPY because of the carry trade, which I've spoken about over there on X, then maybe that's over. We've come back and we've touched support here on the USD JPY, and it looks to be bouncing as the daily RSI comes into the oversold area. So although there was a bearish divergence there, has that played out? Have we now found support, and are we now reversing? Well, looking at equities, they might actually open green today after having a big sell-off. If we open exactly where pre-market is indicating right now, the S&P is going to be opening 1% up. So it's an important day to see what happens, basically. I did talk about there is still a bit of an open gap here for the S&P on the daily time frame. So maybe we do continue to the downside a little bit today. But if we do open green like it's suggesting, then maybe the sell-off is done for crypto, at least for now. And this might be where we get to see those squeezes that I'm talking about over there on Bitcoin and ETH. Now, XRP, the most important chart in my opinion, obviously, because I'm a big XRP holder. Just going to look on the 4-hour time frame here. That's why I've got this line drawn in. The RSI is starting to coil up on the 4 hour. We've just lost the 50. I do think we're in a larger ABC, which is a second, which is a wave 2 and a larger 5-wave pattern. If you know much about Elliott wave theory, I'm not the best Elliott wave technical analyst, but I do have some understanding of Elliott wave theory, and I think we would be seeing a pattern something along these lines if we were going to see a larger wave 3 here. The ABC that I keep talking about is within the second wave of a larger 5-wave move. So that's 1, ABC's in wave 2, and then 3 is what we'd be looking for, and 3 would be on imperfect Elliott wave theory 1.66 times the distance from 38 cent to 64 cent. And if we look at that percentage wise, I keep going on about this because it's what I'm looking for. I'm going to make it actually pretty accurate now. Let's have a look. So exactly from the bottom of the move to the top is a 68% move. So we would be looking for a 100%-ish move from the bottom of wherever this ABC finishes. And these things can be pretty complicated. You can have complex ABC, which actually can take out the high, or the C leg could be stunted if this is super strong. So let's see if it's a super strong move. Let's see, guys. But roughly 100% from where I think the bottom might come in, I believe between 48 and 52 cent if I'm right. Let's just say from here, 100% move would take us all the way out towards like $1, 105. And that's if my math is right on that. So let's see. Like, I am bullish. I still think there's a little bit of a pullback coming for XRP. The big thing we want to watch out for is the weekly closes over XRP versus ETH and XRP versus Bitcoin. Again, we're just below the line that I want us to close above for XRP against Bitcoin, but we still have a few days left. The RSI is cooling off a little bit, but if we go on the weekly time frame, we'll show you what I'm looking at. This is what I want us to close above this white line here. I've been talking about that. It's been previous resistance for a while now. I'd love to see us get that weekly close in and above this area here, and even better if we get it up here at like 0.6095. That'd be great. And XRP against ETH, we had the weekly close that I talked about last week. I said that we probably continue to show strength against ETH. This week we've had another good week against Ethereum so far, being up about 10%. It's even more bullish if we can close above this box here. So from where we are right now on the XRP versus ETH chart, I would like to see us gain another 5% before weekly close on Sunday. That would be perfect. However, with the ABC, will we see that or not? I honestly don't know as of right now, but that is what would be a perfect scenario for us, putting us back inside this range. And as I said, that would lead us onto a potential further 100% gain there for XRP. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is this wedge pattern. I'll take us off logarithmic. We're not even on logarithmic. Cool. We are still just outside of the wedge pattern that we've been talking about. Even if we just adjust, like we are just outside of that wedge, and I would like to see the weekly candle close outside of there. This is just against the US dollar, obviously. If we could get some further price appreciation for XRP and give us more of a convincing confirmation outside of this wedge, that would be great. But again, look, the RSI is looking a little bit overbought. But at times when the RSI does move into that overbought territory, that's when we get those parabolic moves in a bull market. I've spoken about this a few times now. The weekly RSI has pushed above this resistance, like this downtrend, so we are wicking up above that as long as the weekly closes up here. So there's a lot of if, buts, and maybes right now. It's time to keep your fingers crossed. It's time to just enjoy the price action. Your bag should already be loaded. You've had months, years and years of like loading up for XRP. We're in the time period now where we just sit and watch. If we do get any dips and you do want to add, then I'll be looking at that 52 to 48 cent range. If we get it offered, I'm not saying we definitely will. As I've spoken about just now, there's a lot of variables. But that's basically what I'm thinking about the markets right now. I'm not doing too much. I'm watching XRP and I'm cheering it on. And I'm hoping we get that move. And I'm hoping my wave count is correct. If we do get that pullback, then the larger or the wave 3 of Elliott wave theory, which, but by the way, guys, this first 1 to 5 move is also the first leg of a larger Elliott wave move, which is where we start to get super excited and we can start to look out to those Fibonacci extensions if we see the completion of this sort of thing. So fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens today. Let's see what happens on the weekly close, and it will also be the monthly close very soon. So we've got a lot to look forward to in the next few days. I'll update you if anything big changes. If you enjoy the content, guys, please do share and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Drop a comment in the comment section. It's free to do, and it helps with the algorithm. Appreciate you all. Have a great weekend. Peace up. A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.